Chopping it up with G and Z. Chopping it up. 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 Chopping it up with G and Z.
What's going on, everybody? It's Chopping It Up with G and Z. I am G. This is Z. How's it going, my brother?
Man, pretty good. You know what I'm saying? Living life. How are you?
Man, I'm good. I ain't gonna lie. Me and my wife working crazy right now. We got a lot of stuff going on between like moving and she's doing the RN stuff. She's got some tests coming up.
Y'all got a vacation coming up. Yeah, I'm about to say y'all got a vacation too.
Yeah, so we got a lot of stuff on the plate right now, but you know what they say, man. Hustle hard now and I guess enjoy it later. So
yeah.
I'd
rather enjoy it now and hustle like a little bit now.
I would rather just not hustle and just have it. How about that?
I agree. Definitely agree.
Yeah.
We'll definitely get into that in this show because I have something I want to talk about having it. Like, bro.
Yeah. All right, man. So, like last time we got together, man, I think the playoffs was just starting, but let's get into some sports chop, man, because this playoffs has been amazing. I say amazingly crazy. How about that?
Yes.
Yeah. So we're both Laker fans, of course. That's definitely known. So let's go ahead and start out there in the West, man. The Lakers are down 3-2 against the Suns. Oh, man. What's your thoughts about the series, man? Do you feel like we're going to make a comeback? What's your thoughts on AD's injury, LeBron, how he's playing, how we're playing? And then, man, just what's your thoughts on the series, man? Because I'm not feeling good right now.
I'm not feeling good either, man. But like what I really think, I don't think LeBron is 100% healthy. Obviously, he's not 100% healthy, man. But I don't know, man. I think that bubble has caught up with us. The more I think about it, the more the bubble caught up with us, man. That 2-month turnaround, and I know we talked about it at the beginning of the year when LeBron, they said LeBron would probably cherry pick games and he would pick and choose which games he would play and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Looking back on it, he played all them games until he got hurt. And now I wish he would have probably took off a month and a half or 2 months before he started playing this season because at his age, man, it just caught up with him. And I think that's what we see right now, man. The whole team looked tired. Like, I know they're not, to me, I don't think they're fighting as much as I would like to see them fight. But how much can you fight when you're exhausted? And they look exhausted.
You know what, man? I would give you that because, every team that went deep into the playoffs last year is kind of struggling right now.
Every one of them.
I mean, Denver doesn't look the same. They got injuries. Lakers don't look the same. We got injuries. Miami bounced out in the first round.
Miami didn't look good at all.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, Boston's looking like, But I don't want to. You know what? I'm not even going to use an excuse, man.
It's not an excuse. I don't think it's an excuse. We didn't do what we were supposed to do. You know what I'm saying?
No. Don't get me wrong. All I'm going to say is that this is not the same team as last year's squad. You know what I'm saying? So,
agreed.
To me, it's just a completely, like usually when a team, goes back to back or three-peats or whatever, they have the same core pieces, but they have pretty much the same around. They may add one or two here.
Mm-hmm.
We actually ended up shaking up a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like Rondo gone. I mean, the whole squad last year just seemed more like a squad that loved playing together. And this year, you know what I'm saying? How many games did AD and LeBron play with the big penguin?
Yeah, but
you know what I'm saying? Like, we don't look like a cohesive unit. Number one. Number two, we don't have any shooters still, which I've been saying since last year. Like, dude, we have the inside presence. We have AD. We have LeBron. We have size. Get some freaking shooters.
But
if we don't have any shooters, then all people got to do is just box in and clog the lane up.
who
know
is
what I'm saying?
available
So,
and who can we afford though? That's the thing too. Like I believe like when people talk about, you know what I'm saying, when they talk about teams getting better and so and so, bro, we have 2 max contracts, right?
okay, Z.
No, but listen though, like what shooting was available? We had Danny Green. He didn't do what he was supposed to. We went and got Wesley Matthews, who's been a 3-and-D guy, just like everybody else is. He ain't shot well this year. KCP is out. He showed up last year. He ain't showed up now. So it wasn't like it was no shooting out there available, man.
Okay, let me put it this way, man. So, what's the cat's name that plays who actually was in the G League?
Cameron Payne?
Cameron Payne?
Yeah.
I'm cool with a Cameron Payne over what we got right now. How about that?
But
and it's not like they paid Cameron Payne millions of dollars. I mean, like a max contract.
But they signed Cameron Payne last year, though. He played with him in the bubble. So he
what
wasn't available.
What I'm saying, though, is our role players, our players on that side who are supposed to be like that, we don't have anything like that, man, right now. I mean, we're entrusting our team to we paid Marc Gasol.
Yeah. That's to me that's the mistake. I think the mistake is like, you know what I'm saying? I don't think there wasn't a lot of shooting out there. You know what I'm saying? Philadelphia traded for Seth Curry. Austin Rivers was on a squad in the beginning of the year. So it's like,
but he got picked up on waivers. We could have, that's what I'm saying. It is available.
Yeah. You know, but that was after something too. So like my thought is like, you can look at all other stuff, man. I think for me as a Laker fan, like I still want to see him fight, but at the same time, like let's say we beat Houston, we beat Phoenix. How really healthy are we enough to go and fight the next round? Then how healthy will we be for the next round? Like at some point, man, you just got to be like, hey, we had a great run. Let's get some rest and let's look at it again next year. LeBron on the contract next year, AD on the contract next year. Let's get rid of Marc Gasol. I honestly, and my thought is like, even if you look at the players that don't bother me as much as the coaching. Frank Vogel does some stupid moves. His rotations are terrible. You have the 6th man of the year on the bench and you don't play him when you need energy.
Why do we even have him? Why do we even have him if you're not going to play him?
Bro, that's my thing. My thing is like, we could talk about the players, and I think the players are probably tired because they're not being played the way they're supposed to. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, we are anytime Ayton in the game for Phoenix, Montrezl Harrell should be in the game. They have nobody. They have no other bigs that can do what he can do, man. So my thing is like, I understand you don't play him because Ayton is 7'2". You know what I'm saying? But once he's out the game, man, Montrezl Harrell should be in the game. And so like, there's in the rotations, the things that he does, the way that he plays people, man. I think Frank Vogel is a bigger problem than the actual makeup of the team.
Okay, so I'm gonna give Frank a little bit on the hook too, but one thing I gotta say, man. So I feel like as fans, we expect everything to mesh like right away. Like we expect the Brooklyn Nets every time superstars get with other good players. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And that just ain't the truth. That's not the real world. How long did it take LeBron? I mean, that first year LeBron was with Wade and Bosh. You know what I'm saying? It took a long time for them to mesh right. You know what I mean? Even though they won, it took a while for them to mesh.
It took them like the first 30 games, though, but it wasn't nothing.
How many games? Okay, so how many games have Bron and AD played with Drummond?
Oh, no, they haven't played.
You know what I'm saying? So, 30. And I'm not saying Drummond is like, you know what I'm saying, the best of the world. I mean, but he's a centerpiece to what we trying to do this year. And if LeBron and AD only have, you know what I'm saying, so many reps with him in the lineup, then it's going to be hard to find your good lineup that's going to work for you. Yeah, so I'm gonna let him get a pass on that, but I still feel like he doesn't handle the rotations very well. And Trez, I'm sure, is not happy.
Man, but he's been super professional about it all year, man. And that's what I'll say about him, man. He hasn't said anything bad. He hasn't said, you know what I'm saying, nothing like that. So I'll definitely give him that. But I just think Vogel, man, I think Vogel messed it up more than anybody. And I think too, like, because like the thing is like sometimes when they're in the games and I'm like, bro, you have 80, you have and we're dying on the boards right now. Like, bro, why is Andre Drummond not in the game? And then the thing too is like Andre Drummond will run. So the thing is too, you got to tell your guards, like if you see Drummond running, You know what I'm saying? You gotta reward him. That'll make him run more. He's not a post up. He doesn't have a super post move. He's not gonna really give you a lot off the post, but he'll rebound his tail off. But you have to keep him engaged in the game, and that's what you don't have with Schroeder's not being a real point guard.
But that's the difference between a Schroeder and you know what I'm saying, a Rondo, a playoff
and I think
Rondo.
Schroeder, I honestly think Schroeder, man, I don't know what he's doing right now, but he is like sometimes he's there and sometimes he's not.
He's not okay. Here's my thing, man. I like Schroeder as a player. He has, you know what I'm saying, moments where you're like, okay, that's great. He'll have this drive kick or this drive attack the rim mentality, and that's great. But as a point guard, I would prefer playoff Rondo over what I'm seeing from Schroeder on a basketball level. Because no, man, for real. If you watch them play, I could care less about the points. Because Schroeder only had like 10 points last game. Rondo can give you that too. But what Rondo does is he actually can manage how the team is functioning on the floor. I'm sorry, but when you watch the Clippers play, like we're watching them, they're playing right now, actually. But when Rondo's on the floor, the plus minus for the Clippers is a heck of a lot better than when he's off the floor and they're playing just a basic, you know what I'm saying, guard above him or whatever the case is. Rondo, there is such a thing as playoff Rondo, man.
I don't believe it. It's something I don't subscribe to. I don't get issues of that, man. I think he's a solid defensive player. He's a good point guard. I'm not gonna never knock what he's done because you know what I'm saying. He's a real good point guard. I don't when Schroeder's playing like when Schroeder played like he did in game 2 and game 3. You know what I'm saying? Like the games that we won where he had 21 one game, he had 24 the other game. When he plays like that, we're fine. But the thing is, like sometimes I believe him and AD have the same thing where at some point they both believe that they're amazing shooters and they stop going to the rim like they're supposed to. And I think that's when we struggle. Both of them, when they start falling in love with that outside shot, they look terrible. But Schroeder's probably as good a defender as Rondo, and he's a better scorer.
You what? You think Schroeder's a better defender? Nah, man.
No, I didn't say better. I said he's
not even equal. I wouldn't even put it on equal status. I believe Rondo was out there guarding Yo. I mean, not Yo, but
no, he wasn't at all. Nobody on that team was guarding Luka, unless we're talking about Luka.
No,
with this
okay.
Injury.
So let me put it this way. When he was guarding Luka at the end of game 3, I think it was game 3, he actually did a decent job on him. Like literally picked him a couple of times.
But that's because he was hurt, he was hurt. Luka was hurt, man. Luka's been hurt since game 2. It's been
all I'm saying is I would prefer playoff Rondo over what I'm seeing. From Schroeder, man.
I'll give you Dwight Howard. Right, I'll give you Dwight Howard, and I'll give you JaVale McGee because I think they were better. You know what I'm saying? But is Danny Green really better than Wesley Matthews?
The way he's playing in Philly right now, yes. He's shooting better. Yeah, he's providing more than what
he provided for us last year.
So,
he was terrible for us. Think about that, though. He was terrible for us, Gerald.
Yeah, no, he was. So
what you think we supposed to give him another year to be terrible again?
No. Listen to what I'm saying, though, man. Last year we had the bubble, right?
Yeah.
But one of the things that came out of that bubble was the team was a team. We can go back and forth. We can go back and forth on this, but you know.
But everybody hated it though. I think we didn't hate it as much as everybody else did.
Okay, let me put it like this, Z. Every championship or every NBA championship team who's gone and won the trophy has had a team camaraderie to them. You know what I'm saying? Like there was something special about the team. We can go back to just trace it back for the last decade, man. LeBron's teams, Golden State's team, even the Miami squad, even the Dallas squad, hell, back in the 90s or whatever the case is.
You think that was something
there's always been this camaraderie. What I'm saying is there's always been this camaraderie. There's always been something with the team that was special. And we had that last year. And when you break that all the way up, you can't expect the same results.
I could dig it.
And I think we're seeing that right now, man. Like this team does not seem like they're happy playing together like they were last year. And I mean, you can't replace that just because you think this player is going to provide a better percentage on the 3-point line. There's something to playing with a team that you love to play with. You know what I mean? Versus
I'm gonna just agree to disagree with you on that one, bro. I think it's a lot of different factors, man. I think Rob tried to upgrade where he did. The Gasol and the JaVale and Dwight Howard thing, that's a clear mistake. Everything else to me was like trying to find something better than what you had last year. And we couldn't afford to pay Rondo what he wanted. So we knew we were gonna lose him going into the season. You know what I'm saying? We got Trez and we mismanaged him the whole damn season. You know what I'm saying? So like, I don't know, man. It's just different. But all right, so what's the next?
Well,
what's the next?
I don't
one?
like the moves. All right.
I don't like the moves either, but I still it's a lot. I just don't think it's one thing, and I don't think like they hate playing with each other. I just don't think they've got a chance to.
No, I'm not saying they do hate playing with each other. All I'm saying is there was a difference between the team last year and the camaraderie with the team versus this year. You're not seeing the same thing. That's all I'm saying. And that could be just the fact that they haven't played together the whole season because of injuries and everything's going on. That could be the case. All I'm saying is, man, last year's team was special. They were special. They had something special going on within. Yeah. Anyway, all right.
I also don't think there was anything special with the Toronto Raptors that won. They ran up on Golden State with everybody hurt.
That's a different story.
Yeah, if Golden State there was something special in camaraderie, there was nothing there.
I mean, come on, man. You know what I mean, though. If Golden State wouldn't have lost KD and, you know what I'm saying, Clay, yeah, come on. Toronto, we know Toronto wouldn't have won. But anyway, so, on this game, though, man, there's been some shots. Just to stick with the Lakers real quick, man, because LeBron the last game actually did walk off the floor at the 5 beta mark. He's catching slack on it. This is before the game was over. He's citing that he went in to go, I guess, get
star treatment
or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Man, what do you think, man? Do you think this was one of those things where it's going to tarnish LeBron's image?
Nah, man. I think LeBron.
The people who hate him gonna hate him anyway. So
yeah, I think the people that like LeBron don't like LeBron. The people that hate him are gonna hate him. I think at this point in his career, man, you either like him or you don't, man. I actually I was on Facebook last week, man. I got a homeboy, man, and I don't know what it is, man. And I asked him, I was like, bro, I feel like every day you post something personal, like something about LeBron James, or like how Michael Jordan is better than LeBron James. And I'm like, it's all right. We all have our favorites. You know what I'm saying? And,
yeah,
bro, I'll Magic and Kobe, I'll argue everybody in the face that they ain't the best players to ever play basketball. You know what I'm saying? And that's just my thoughts. But what I was telling him is like, man, like every day you post something about like LeBron. I'm like, bro, did he do something personally to you? Like, why do you take it this way? You know what I'm saying? And
did he call you a punk? What's going on? What happened?
But you remember the story, you know what I'm saying? Not, God bless his soul, but you know what I'm saying, man. You remember the story we tell about Robin and Kobe. You know what I'm saying? And Robin, but that's different though. So if you have that personal experience, I can see where you be. But I think people just like, man, people hate LeBron just like, he's this and he's that, man, bro. He's been to the finals 11 times. Like, bro, he took Cleveland to the finals twice with teams that shouldn't have made it out the second round.
Yeah. And I mean, I had this conversation today, actually. I was like, dude, you got to say, man, when there's one thing to go to the finals 11 times, but when LeBron worked his way out of a 3-1 hole and won the championship, I'm sorry. Even though he shouldn't have said that, you know what I'm saying, cemented him as the greatest of all time. He shouldn't have said it because that feat should have just stood on its own. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I think it rubbed people the wrong way, the fact that he said it, but it doesn't take away from the fact that, that was to come back 3-1 on the Golden State Warriors to make them go get KD. You know what I'm saying? Like that's, bro, that's special. That's special. So anyway, all right, man. Also in the West, and we're gonna be on the playoffs for a minute because it's a lot going on. The Denver versus the Portland series. So as of right now, that series is also now 3-2. The game they played last night with LA. And
I'm just disappointed. Me and my wife was watching Snowfall, and once I seen the Lakers score, I was like, man, I'm gonna watch Snowfall with my wife. And so I look up at the Portland score, right? And it's like 118 to 121 with 12 seconds left. I was like, this is probably over. I'll just leave it be. So we watched Snowfall. Check my phone again. it's like 135 to 135 in second overtime. And I'm like, what? But it's like a minute and a half left. And I'm like, well, I'm not going to stop this. Then I see it's like 141. I said, God, I missed probably the best playoff game of this so far. It seemed like the best playoff game so far.
Bro, you saw my text. I was like, dude.
I actually stopped looking at my phone because I was like, Gerald is bothering me right now because I'm watching snowfall and he keep on Dame. Oh my God, that's the greatest shot I've ever seen. It's the
bro.
I used to,
my Lord, Jesus.
I used to, like, in my apartments or anytime I lived in a house, I would always have a rule when we were watching games. Like, if I walk out the room, do not jump up and be like, oh my God, that's the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life. Like, bro, I just walked out the room. Don't do that. And that's what I felt like you would do it to me last night. Oh my God, you should have saw this. I was like, Gerald, whoa.
Nah, hey, I'm just like, man, y'all are missing the best playoff game, the best playoff performance. Yeah, I think since. Yeah. Bro, I can't even tell you when was the best playoff performance I've seen since then. Probably when Dame hit the you know what I'm saying, Oklahoma City dagger.
Yeah, but I think in that game he only had like 40. He had 55 last night.
Bro, when I say, man, dude, so I'm sitting. What's crazy is I'm actually in the bed with my wife because the Lakers are losing, and I'm just like, man, I really don't care about the games on tonight, blah, blah, blah. And so I literally just turned it to the other game thinking, okay, I'll just kind of check it out, but I'll see what's going on. I really don't have a dog in the fight. I could care less if Denver or Portland wins. Mm-hmm. I kind of am rooting for Portland because I like Dame, but we'll see what happens. Yo. Well, they're down like the whole second half, man. And I'm just thinking to myself, okay, well, they're probably going to end up losing. So I'm just kind of watching it, seeing how, you know what I'm saying, Dame is playing, seeing how Jokic is playing. Jokic is playing good. Dame is playing better. Dame just when I say Dame just keeps going down and hitting threes. Yeah. Bro, and it's threes where you just sitting there like, I know he's not going to shoot this. He did shoot it. I know it's ain't going to go in. Oh, he did make it. Yeah. God dog. And every time it was clutch moments, man, I was like, Lord Jesus, he just did it again. Yeah. Man, when I say the whole crowd was just like, he's going to do it again. He's going to do it again. Bro, I've never seen a performance like that before in my life. That was great. That was great. I saw the stat, man. The stat line was this: Dame Lillard in the 2 overtimes was like 18 points.
Yeah. Then he scored all 8 points. He scored all 8 points.
He scored just about every point. I think he was like, you know what I'm saying, 6 for 8 or 7 for 10 or something like that with 18 points. The rest of the team, like 1 for 10 for 2 points. And I'm like, man.
He didn't have no help last night.
Terrible.
And usually CJ McCollum come out there with him, man, but I don't know what happened.
Yeah, man. It was bad. It was bad. All right, man. So the other 2 series, man, is the Clippers versus the Mavericks, which, you know what I'm saying? Who are you hoping for in that one, man? I don't have a dog in many of the fights, but I am kind of semi-rooting for the Clippers, bro.
So here's where I'm stuck at. I believe that they make too much of Luka. I think can I say that? White people make too much of Luka, like they overhype him. They're always looking for the next great white hype. You know what I'm saying? So they make him like he's amazing, blah blah blah. I think Luka's just as good, but man, it's a weird thing because I think Luka is actually amazing, but I don't think he is.
I was gonna say, I'm not seeing this as a race issue right now because Luka's Luka.
So the thing is, when you see him play, man, he's like 6'8". Like 240, 250. So when you see Kawhi and Paul George try to guard him, he's too big for him. Man, I've seen him hit Kawhi Leonard and knock him out the frame. Like the shot. You know what I'm saying? He was coming down, it was like bam. And like Kawhi Leonard flew, and I was like, bro, that's saying a lot. So I believe he's like LeBron sized. And he's super skilled, but he has some flaws in his game. You know what I'm saying? He's a terrible free throw shooter. He's his 3-point shooting is like touch and go. Like he could be super hot and start hitting crazy shots from everywhere, or he could be terrible. You know what I'm saying? But I kind of root for him, but I be hesitant to root for him because I think if he does really well, they're gonna make him like the greatest thing since sliced bread. So it's like, you know what I'm saying, like a weird thing there. But I hate the Clippers. So like, outside of Boogie Cousins, I hate the Clippers. I don't really care for nobody on that squad. So I kind of go, that's how I was hoping that Tim Hardaway Jr. used to play basketball with one of my little cousins. So I met him years and years ago when they were in high school. So I think Tim Hardaway Jr. was like an underdog, and people kind of like thought he wasn't going to be as good as his father. So it's always good to see him doing well. But I thought I honestly thought the Mavericks was going to win until Luka got hurt.
I don't know, man. They may still win. The thing about it, like I don't have that same issue with Luka. Like I used to feel like, man, I used to put Luka and Jokic in the same camp. Just and what I mean by that is you look at them and you're like, bro, what the hell are y'all doing in the league, let alone in the talks for one of the best players out west? You know what I'm saying? Like they just don't even look the part. You know what I mean?
I can see that.
They look like they look like during the summer they just sitting down with, you know what I'm saying, a keg of beer and you know, whatever the case is, whoop-de-woo. But man, them boys, my thing is this, man, like when you look at them, they look slow. They can't jump. They don't have very much athleticism. They're not the best shooters in the world. But when you watch Luka and Jokic play, the way they play ball is like a plus minus of, you know what I'm saying, like 20 points for your squad, just having them on the floor.
Yeah.
It's not about the final stats. I mean, you can look at the final stats and they'll blow it away. They'll have like 35 points, 16 assists. But what I mean is when you watch the game and you're like how they dissect a double team, how they dissect the defense, make the right pass at the right moment. You can't teach some of that stuff, man. It's like they have like this basketball IQ that's out of this world. And I hate that word basketball IQ with them in particular, you know what I'm saying? But definitely. I gotta say, man, when you watch them play, dude, there is something to how those cats play the game, and you just like, dog, they are killing this squad. And you look up and you like, they can't barely dunk the ball, but I think it's whatever they're doing is working.
I definitely understand that, definitely for both of them. The unathletic thing and the unathletic and slow thing to me applies more to Joker than Luka. I mean, Luka's not fast or nothing, man, but he's big. You know what I'm saying?
And he's 6'9".
So. Yeah. So the thing is, was Carmelo ever faster than what Luka is right now? You know what I'm saying? When Carmelo was young, he still wasn't like you know what I'm saying, like fast.
Yeah, but Carmelo was always known as a scorer. You know what I'm saying?
No, and that's what I'm saying. So like the thing is too, I think what happens is we see LeBron James, and then we be like, oh, you know, you could be 6'9" and run a 4.3. And then we think that's some regular stuff. Yeah. What LeBron is not regular, and I think that's why because the thing is, like, is Luka really more athletic or unathletic than Magic Johnson?
No.
Thank you. And Magic Johnson is my favorite player ever, but we will never say that about Magic Johnson. But so back to my
Magic Johnson was not very athletic
at all. You know,
he made his claim on basketball IQ, man. Them passes he made, Showtime running the Showtime Lakers.
He would run. He wouldn't run faster than nobody else. And I believe that about Luka. I think Luka's athletic enough. Where the athletic conversation comes to me is with Joker, because like to me, like Luka a dunk on you or go and dunk. Joker chances of dunking is probably the same as Steph Curry's. You know what I'm saying? Like, and he's 7 feet, and he doesn't, like, Luka overpower you, and he's good with overpowering you and looking you in the face and being like, you small. Joker's not gonna overpower you. He's gonna give you some pump fakes. He's gonna get you off your game, and then he's gonna give you a floater or something like that. So his game is different because he's being crafty and doing what he does. Where I think Luka will overpower you. I think he understands that he's bigger than people, and he'll back him down. So it's a different game for me. But I still think they're both great at, like you said, the double team, finding an open man, the pace of the game, the tempo of the game. They're both great at that. But
to me, man, because
I think Luka's about as good as Trae Young. I think Trae Young is about as good as Donovan Mitchell. I think Donovan Mitchell is about as good as Jamal Murray. I think Jamal Murray is about as good as Devin Booker. I think Devin Booker, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think there's Devin Booker.
I think there's levels.
No, well, that's, you know what I'm saying? That's to be whatever. But I think Devin Booker is about as good as Jason Tatum. I think Jason Tatum is about as good as your boy, the one that's hurt for the Celtics.
Oh, Jaylen Brown.
Yeah, I think all of the young dudes are good. Some of them have different things than other people. I think Jaylen Brown plays better defense than Jason Tatum. I think Jason Tatum has a better jump shot than Jaylen Brown. I think Trae Young is more skilled than everybody we're talking about. I think but he's little bitty. You know what I'm saying? If Luka could shoot like Trae Young, that'll be an issue. If Ja Morant could shoot like
If
Trae
Ja
Young,
Morant had a shot, oh my
or
Lord Jesus.
if he had Devin Booker size, because you think Ja Morant is still small too. So
he's on like what 6'1",
six,
maybe
like
even 6 foot.
No, he like 6'2". He's a little bit taller than Trae Young, but barely. You know what I'm saying? And so the thing is, like, I think
he
all
got
of
them
them.
hops though.
Oh no, he got super hops, bro. He went to dunk on Gobert the other day, and it was like easy. I was like, oh man, that was like he shouldn't have been able to do it like that easy.
I was like, Lord Jesus.
I think all those young players are. I think all of those young players are great, and I think we should just watch them and see what they turn into instead of being like Luka is gonna be the MVP next year. I'm like, no, he's not. But let's just watch him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we'll see, man. As far as the whole crop of the new youngins coming up, because I mean, let's keep in mind, Luka's only 22. Tatum, I think, is what 23.
Yeah.
I mean, so when you look, I mean, Tatum to me is probably, man. I was impressed. I was impressed with the way that dude played against the Nets, man. I gotta say, and I've had my knocks on Tatum because of how he, you know what I'm saying, has always like he'll may get a foul on the play and he'll just monitor the refs for like 20 minutes.
But
Luka does the same thing, and
Luka
it drives me crazy. And I'm like, man, if y'all don't stop and get back on defense,
Joker does too, though. Joker
does too.
But I think that's an NBA thing now, man. I think it's just more everybody complains. You know what I'm saying? But they all do a terrible job of it, though. I'm like, godly, really?
There's complaining, and then there's the excessive.
Yes,
and Luka,
agreed.
Luka, Jokic, and Tatum are like in the upper class of that, where they'll just be complaining all game. I'm like, bro, if y'all don't just put your head down and just play, man. Come on.
Definitely agree there.
All right, man. So the other series is the Jazz versus the Grizzlies. Man, do you believe in the Utah Jazz, bro? Yes. I mean, the thing is, they have been the best team in the West all year. You know what I'm saying? And now that they've got the big gun back, I mean, do you see them hitting? And because I mean, if they win the series, you know what I'm saying? They end up playing the winner of the Clippers versus the Mavericks. Bro. And let's just say, for instance, it's the Mavericks, or let's just say it's the Clippers. Either one of those squads. You feel like they're getting past either one of those squads easily, handily? What you think?
I think they'll handily get past. Man, I think Phoenix gives them an issue because Phoenix matches up well with them, right? But outside of Phoenix, it's an issue because the way they're built, they have a big, and then they have three shooters, and then like three shooters, and maybe two slashers or two shot makers on the floor all the time. So what happens is they take more 3-pointers than everybody, right? But the 3-pointers that they're taking are wide open 3-pointers. And then the people that are shooting these wide open 3-pointers are 45 to 48% 3-point shooters. Ingles, Bragmanovich, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Then they have Clarkson. Another dude. Yeah, but then they keep Clarkson and Mitchell. It'll either be Clarkson and Mitchell, or Clarkson and Conley, or Conley and Mitchell. So they always have somebody shooting, creating. They always have their line of defense in the back, so they funnel on defense. You know what I'm saying? So the thing is, you never see them get out rebounded, even though they're playing small, because they got a humongous big in, and they get these open looks all the time, and they shoot more threes than everybody. So it's hard to defend that. And I think the only people that really can defend that well, which is one of the teams I'm going to say is going to be weird to you, but I think Phoenix is built like that, with like one real big and then a whole bunch of dudes around the same height that they can switch everything. And then they have like a little point guard in Chris Paul or Cameron Payne. I believe Atlanta is built the same way. If you look at Atlanta roster, bro, they have one big.
Yeah.
And they have,
Atlanta's got some really nice swing forward players.
No,
what's his name? What's the guy's name again, man? Josh.
Bro, they got like 6 of them though, because they got 2. They got a light-skinned black dude, a dark-skinned black dude. They have Janelli. You remember the dude used to play for the Clippers? Denari. Gallinari. They have Gallinari. Then they have
Ivanovic, one of the itches.
Huter. They have a dude named Huter, like a redheaded dude named Huter. And bro, like all of these dudes can handle, shoot, and defend. And so the thing is, they switch everything, and they all can shoot and handle, and it's like a crazy thing. So, and then they always have either Trae Young or Lou Williams in the game. Like Lou Williams and Trae Young don't play together, but they always have somebody who can create offense and who can facilitate. So, man, I really think like if Atlanta can stay together for like 2-3 years and watch them grow in the playoffs, they're gonna be a problem.
So here's the thing, and that brings us to out east. So Atlanta will end up playing Philly.
Yeah.
And then you have the Bucks versus the Nets.
Yeah.
Which if Joel Embiid is actually, and this is my time to actually congratulate the NBA. This is the one thing I love about the playoffs this year, man, is that the teams who have dominant bigs are winning. And I love that because I feel like the league has kind of drifted away into this whole positionless NBA where they try to go small ball all the time. I like that old school bully ball, man, because I feel like that's playoff ball because the game slows down. You don't have, you know what I'm saying, people just running and gunning threes out there all the time. Teams that aren't built for it. I feel like, you know what I'm saying, there's teams that are built for it. Like Golden State was built for that, but they had pieces that they could switch out that were pieces where it was bigs who could hit the three. So they would drag the other bigs out to the 3-point line, leaving the lanes wide open for these little guys to do what they do. They can run a small lineup and be cool with it. But teams aren't built that way, but they're trying to play that way. You know what I'm saying? And that's what drives me crazy. So I love it when I see like an Embiid or a Joker who goes in there. Embiid, when he was playing against the Wizards, man, he was eating a lunch. Bro, I mean, like, I'm sitting here watching the game and I'm like, Embiid would go off for like 15 straight points. You know what I mean? Like, just nobody could stop him. He was doing his thing, pull-ups, driving to the hole, yamming on folks. His turnaround jumper game. He even had the Dirk Nowitzki one leg fadeaway going on. I was just like, man, I'm impressed. I love these bigs, man. And so, anyway, that's just my shot to the way the game is played today. I love seeing the throwback to the old big dudes, man. And the way these cats are playing right now. If Embiid is actually healthy, they should, mop past Atlanta, if you ask me, and make their way into the conference finals. As far as the Bucks versus the Nets, to me, that's going to be the series to watch. So,
agreed.
Man, do you have do you still feel like the Nets is going just straight through? What you think, man?
No, actually, Milwaukee impressed me, man. Watching Milwaukee play Miami, I realized that Chris Middleton and Drew Holiday gives them something different. And then Portis Jr., Portis Jr. broke one of them dudes' face in New York a few years ago. And his eye orbital. So he's like kind of like a fighter. And then they got PJ Tucker, who's a fighter too. You know what I'm saying? And I think Drew Holiday always had that, like, I will
chip on his shoulder. Yeah.
And
you know what I'm saying? Like, y'all ain't giving me my respect as due because, man, he's been one of the best two-way point guards we've seen in the NBA over the past, 5-6 years?
Oh, yeah, because he'll D up your point or your two. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
But so the thing too, or your three, because he actually was D'ing up Jimmy Butler. But I think those people give them more of a fight where like they were like pushovers, like you come out and slap Milwaukee in the face and they be like, oh, don't slap me no more. And they just like hide, you know what I'm saying? This year they done actually came out where they like, nah, you ain't slapping us. So I think that's different. I think, man.
You saying they have a special kind of toughness this year they didn't have last
They got
year.
more, they have a toughness that they never had before. The thing with Brooklyn though, man, is that, man, they can explode and be super special, but bro, they could give up 50 twice. Bro, Tatum had a 50-point game, a 40-point game, and a 30-point game against them, and he was by himself for the most part. You know what I'm saying? He didn't have like Jaylen Brown, Kemba Walker wasn't out there, and Marcus Smart.
Yep.
For Marcus Smart to be greater scorer as he was in college, man, I don't know where his scoring has went to, man, but he is off or on. But I think, man, I think that's the series. To me, the series is the Nets versus the Bucks, and the winner of that series goes to the East. To me,
goes to the finals.
Because they said what's the name towards meniscus.
Oh, did they say
Embiid got a torn meniscus.
Oh man. So is he out for the playoffs?
I don't know if it's partially torn, bro, but you had a torn meniscus. How much do you think you could run?
I mean, it all depends on it all depends on how severe the tear is. If it's all the way gone, then yeah, you gone for the playoffs. If it's just a slight tear, it's gonna be painful, but I'm sure they got some shots they can give him, whatever the case is. He ain't gonna be 100%. I can tell you that for the whole playoffs. So yeah, I definitely would say one of the Nets and the Bucks should make it past if Embiid is not 100%.
Yeah,
I should say not even 80%.
Philadelphia is just awkward to me, man. Like Embiid is amazing. Like when I seen him play, man, like the other day I saw game 3, whichever the game where they like blew him out. I was like, God dang, Embiid is crazy on offense. And then the ability to have Ben Simmons be able to defend. I seen him on Russell Westbrook. I seen him on Bradley Beal. I seen him on the small forward dude. I seen him switch off to the power forward dude. I was like, bro, like, we talk about like the ability to cover the 1 to 5. Ben Simmons can really do that. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, but let's not get it twisted though, man. Like during the year, if the Nets play the 76ers, because I think it was split during the year, even though the Nets didn't play with each other, so forth and so on. But Embiid had big games.
Oh yeah, he was going. Oh,
because he would maul. Because who all do they have besides? I haven't even seen what's his name during the whole playoffs.
Well, first he hurt, and then Jeff Green got hurt too.
Yeah, Jeff Green got hurt. So man, they got a big gaping hole.
Yeah, they got is Blake, and they got the young dude with the dreads. He like super bouncy. He kind of remind me of the young dude with the dreads for the Celtics, but that's all they really got.
Yeah, so there's a big hole down there.
Yeah,
if Embiid so healthy, Giannis is gonna have his weight in. Oh Lord, Jesus!
The only reason that I think Giannis don't have his weight is because KD D him up for most of the game.
KD can play D, but Giannis, man.
I'm not telling he gonna stop him, man. But yeah, too though. Giannis's jump shot still ain't enough, man. To me,
it's not,
bro. I would give him that jump shot all day, man. Because the thing is, like, bro, what he do is just keep on trying to gather and then run past you. I hate when he does that, man, and he does it all the time.
But the fact that he actually, I think, scored like 42 in one game and 44 in another 46 or something like that, another game versus them this year.
Yeah,
and this is when Jordan was playing.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't see how they.
But then,
as much as we say Giannis is not skilled, he still got the intangible of being, 7'6" wingspan with biceps the size of that. I mean, come on, man. The dude is just a beast.
I'm gonna say a beast, man. I think he's good at what he does, man. I think in the playoffs they found ways to. I think people find ways to neutralize him because he can't shoot. And that's the thing is,
I don't think so because the only time he got stopped was when he got hurt. You know what I'm saying? I think people go off of the loss they had last year and think, oh, it's 2 years in a row and Giannis got 2 MVPs and he got bounced out. But when you look at it, dude still played like a beast in the playoffs. It's just he got hurt. His ankle wasn't the same and he didn't have no bounce.
Shut him down last year, though?
This is after he got hurt. No, when you watch the series, man, he got hurt. He hurt his ankle.
Didn't
try to come back, only played like 15, 20 minutes partially.
What about the year Kawhi locked him up?
Hey, all I'm gonna say is, man, the games he's played this year against the Nets, he has killed them.
And this is them, that he has a history,
and they were big games too. They weren't just, we just gonna go out here and play with, but no, they were big games.
He has a history of not shooting well in the playoffs. He has a history of being locked up by a 6'7" dude. So until I see him do better, I'm cool.
All right, man. We'll see how the game goes. Yeah. We'll see. All right, man. So that's our NBA chop, man. I did have one thing, man. Another thing that's actually floating around right now is, and I feel like we could go ahead and address it real quick. And that was the Kwame Brown piece. And I know this is not part of the current NBA, but it has been getting buzz on a lot of sports shows and everything that's been going on. So for anybody who doesn't know, I don't know. I mean, everybody pretty much knows now. So there was Kwame Brown, of course, was number 1 pick. Was always, labeled as a bust by a lot of people outside of the league or even inside, I guess you could say, but mostly among sports writers, Stephen A. Smith, blah, 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 blah. And there was a podcast for all the smoke. They kind of talked about him a little bit, and Kwame had just kind of hit back. It's almost like 20 years of frustration, and it's now just like, I'm not gonna take it no more. Take this.
No.
Man, do you have any thoughts on what's going on, man? And I'll give you mine, bro.
You can go first.
Oh, well, I mean, so my thing is, man, like I have I'm conflicted. I really am conflicted, man, because I understand why Kwame is going off. Trust me, I get it. Like, and I don't blame the man for going off at all. I feel like, man, if you got 20 years of pent up frustration I can just imagine. So I've been with the phone company for 10 years. I can just imagine people dissecting my, you know what I'm saying, me at my job for the last 10 years, saying, yeah, he's terrible, he's a bust, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. For 10 years, that will wear thin on anybody, period. Mm-hmm. And for him for that to be the national spotlight ever since he was 18, you know what I'm saying, as a young kid, you know what I mean? Like that's crazy. And then I heard the stories of how, you know what I'm saying, MJ kind of, Lord, to hear some of that stuff, I understand completely, you know what I'm saying, where Kwame Brown is coming from. Where I am conflicted at is that I hate, one thing that I do hate, man, is us going at each other publicly. And when I say us, I mean black males in particular. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, I hate seeing, I don't care who was at fault. I don't care if it was, you know what I'm saying, Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson talking mess, blah, 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 blah. Bro, I would rather they handle that behind closed doors versus it being all out in the open between two brothers, three brothers, or whatever the case is, and it being so public, and people are soaking it up because it's so public. Yep. You know what I mean? Like, I just hate seeing us fight against us when I feel like the fight is just so much deeper out there versus within. You know what I mean? So let's just, man, please squash that mess. You know what I mean? Like, please, let's just squash that.
I see your point. I don't agree with it, but I see your point, though. Yeah. I think, man, so it's always going to be different for me, man, because I was there. You know what I'm saying? I was in D.C. Then. I wasn't in D.C. when Jordan was there, but I moved to D.C. I think Jordan, because the thing, like, we went and seen Jordan, that final All-Star game was in Atlanta, and I want to say in 2003. And I moved to D.C. in 2004. You know what I'm saying? So the thing is, like, I remember Kwame when he was young. You know what I'm saying? I remember, like, the first time I seen him and being like, there have been 3 basketball players that I've seen in my lifetime where I was like, that don't seem fair. Well, maybe 4. But the first time I seen Shaq, I was just like, that's stupid for a human to be that size. The first time I seen LeBron and noticed that LeBron and Carmelo was all the same as the time, that was crazy to me too. And they were the same size as Alonzo Mourning and Karl Malone, which was crazy. But man, I remember being in the hallway, and after the Wizards game, they have a players lounge where the family would go. You know what I'm saying? And they serve you food, whatever. And I remember being in the hallway. We were waiting in the hallway. You know what I'm saying? Talk to some of the other players or whatever. And I remember when Dwight Howard walked by, and I was like, because I know he was 18. You know what I'm saying? Dwight Howard's shoulders were like, I was like, there's no way he's 18. Like, he was in high school last year. And I remember looking at Kwame, and man, Kwame was like 260 and 7 feet. Like, and he was like, it wasn't like he was like humongous, but he wasn't thin. You know what I'm saying? It was like he was like, and I was
like AD when he first came into the league.
Yeah, no, it was like, it's hard to even describe how he was, but you would see Kwame next to KG, and you'd be like, oh man, he probably pick up KG and body slam him. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, but he was always super cool. Kwame was always super cool, man. And so the thing, I hated to hear people talk about him like that, man, because he was a cool cat and he was put in a bad situation. And then if you tell people, the crazy thing is I've told people for years, Michael Jordan is an asshole, and people love Michael Jordan so much they will fuss with you like tooth and nail, like, no. And I'm like, bro, I've seen this, I've heard stories, I've seen, bro, some of the stuff that I've seen and some of the stuff that I've heard, and some of the ways like that players talk to other players, you'd be like, oh no, I'm going to whoop his, you know what I'm saying? But it was so much that stuff going on back then and the way they did him. So I'm glad that he talked. So I'm glad that he talked about it because I felt like he was wrong. The second thing is like when we saw the podcast with Gilbert, Stephen A. Jackson, and Matt Barnes, I thought what they did was like it offended me when I heard Gilbert talk what he talked, because he said something about it. He said something about a time, and then he was like, we had a time, and Matt Barnes was like a time. And then they went into the Kwame, and he was like, he was like a show horse, but he couldn't do so and so. And I was like, as soon as he said it, I was like, oh, bro, I got an issue with that. If you know what I'm saying, if I was Kwame, I'd have an issue with that. And then the way they snickered and whatever they said when he said it, like Kwame Brown, blah blah blah. I was like, oh. So when I heard it before Kwame, I was like, oh, I'd have an issue with that. So then when I heard him talking about it, I was like, bro, I would have did the same thing. I probably did the same thing.
So you would have made 50 videos.
I said
2 hours a piece.
I probably wouldn't have did the same thing. But I was definitely when I heard it, I took it as a slight. I thought it was childish, and I thought it was like y'all being super cute. And I was like, oh, now I'm gonna have to say something about it. And then so once he started talking about the media people, I was like, oh, that's what they deserve. They all deserve that. And if you've paid attention, Charles Barkley has changed the way he's talking about athletes now. Like if you watch the NBA show after the game, you'll hear a lot of no disrespect intended, or just what I'm saying, I don't no mean to offend. And you sometimes when people say that stuff, it still ain't the cool stuff. But to even notice in the way that he's talking about people, or Skip Bayless is kind of changing a little bit, I still think he's
still
horrible.
number one hater for LeBron. So
number one. But Stephen A. Smith came out and did the video and was like, I will not let you. I was like, bro, but you did that. We have a video of Jalen Rose checking you and Skip Bayless about this. Like, bro, what y'all were doing is out of line. And my thing is like, maybe somebody need to get their ass whooped for them to understand that you can't talk about men like this. My thoughts.
Hey, man. Yeah. I mean, okay. How about this? We can agree to disagree on this, because I feel like it's one thing that, Kwame, go out there, handle your business, beat them down real quick, show them. I mean, you know what I'm saying? But I'd rather it be done behind closed doors, not publicly.
Yeah.
Not all out.
But the disrespect was in public, though.
And people, no, what I'm saying, though, is that man, but that's the thing. I just hate the fact that we actually love, and this is just based on the culture too, man. The culture. We love drama. And I think half of the people are loving what Kwame's doing, just love the drama of what he's doing. They can really care less about, you know what I'm saying, anything else going on. I just hate seeing that piece of it. Like, bro, we got enough issues going on with us as folks, not just let other people see what's going on and being like, see, there go them black folks doing this. This is what they do. Man, nah, man, I'm not a fan of it when it happens with rap beef. I'm not a fan when it happens and it spills over publicly with, you know what I'm saying, public figures who get beef with each other. Like, dude, just handle that behind closed doors. I would have rather there been a phone call to Gilbert, to Matt Barnes, you know what I'm saying? And then if Matt Barnes and Gilbert and all of them would have went on their show and actually said, you know what, we did this last week, let's apologize, blah, blah, blah. And then it would have been over, period. But no, it's kept its way to the spotlight. And like I said, again, I understand why Kwame is doing it, because, man, if you spent 13 years doing something and people were on you for 13 straight years, when you were 18 up to, you know what I'm saying, age 30, yeah, I'd be pissed, ready to go off too. So I understand it.
But I just
don't like it.
Think about, man, me judging you on your life from 18 to 30 for the rest of your life. Imagine all the terrible decisions you made from 18 to 30, and I judge you on that, and I'm gonna tell you that you're a millionaire at, what is he? He's a millionaire at 35, 37. He's 37, 38.
Oh, Lord Jesus.
He's a millionaire right now, still to this day. And there's a lot of broke professional athletes. So you're going to tell me I'm a bust, but I'm a millionaire. I'm living the life I want to live. And I played in the league for 12 years. Like, so I think that throws me off. Another thing that just bothers me about it, though, is just the fact that, man, y'all disrespected me publicly. So don't ask me to go behind the column and be like, hey, bro, I didn't like what you said. No, y'all got on TV and laughed and snickered at my name. Like I'm some kind of, like, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm less than. No, bro. And then the thing too is, like, I've never seen people be more, and I understand the drama aspect of it, man, but I've never seen people be more happy about Kwame Brown. And I think I've never seen people are actually just happy to see him stand up. Like you want to see somebody attack the bully and they be like, no, let me tell you what you're not gonna do. So I think
now that part I like. I like the fact that Kwame is standing his ground right now. I love that part.
But then here's my last thing though. White people get into it with each other all the time. White celebrities get into it with each other all the time. White singers get into it. Mexican singers get into it. So the thing is, like, naturally, we're gonna have, like, I understand, like, you don't want to see black people going at each other, but shoot, man, that it's part of life. You know what I'm saying?
No. Okay. Again, don't get me wrong. What Kwame is doing, or what Kwame did do, when he went out and made a couple of videos and it blew up, I was like, hey, I don't blame him, bro. You know what I'm saying? Make you come back, blah, 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 blah. But the fact that it's like a month, like, you know what I'm saying? And we've got like 20 videos and a consistent drumbeat of it. I don't know, man. I just don't like the continued pathway of it. You know what I mean? Like, for instance, let me give you an example. Bro. You remember when Pac and Biggie was into it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody was on it because they loved the drama, right? They made the songs. Granted, we loved them. We loved the songs. But there came a point where, bro, I'd rather y'all handle this, you know what I'm saying, man to man versus in the public eye. And this is, like I said, this is with any beef. I'm cool with the first, you make a punch, I make a punch. Okay, it's out there in the public. It happened. Now, please handle the beef and let it, and do, you know what I'm saying? Let it roll. Whatever's going to happen is going to happen. And so I hope that when they make up, and I hope they do, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think Eton even said it. I hope that everybody's on net versus the drama that's happening right now.
Yeah. I don't know.
And that's all I got to say about it.
I guess I just see a different, man, because I think at some point in the confrontation, you know what I'm saying? At some point, man, when you publicly like say something about somebody, man, you have to expect for them to say something back, man. We're men who can't handle our ego and pride at home with our wives. So what you mean? You gonna tell me I could, man, like this dude is gonna do this on national TV or national, like, bro, I can't even tell my wife I'm sorry when I did something wrong. Like, think about what we do on a day to day. So my thing is, like, you can't expect to disrespect a man in a public forum that way for that long and then expect for him to be cool about it. So you have to expect that to happen. You know what I'm saying?
And then I do got to say this, man, because I watched the reaction from Matt Barnes and Stephen A. Smith and from Jack. I don't like the responses back, man. I was just like, okay, is this supposed to be an apology? But they were still making fun.
Yeah, Steven Jackson actually went back. Steven Jackson actually went back and was like, look, man, I apologize. I think he actually gave like a good apology. Matt Barnes, to me, man, I didn't really care for Matt Barnes. You know what I'm saying? Matt Barnes, you could say, but he said a lot of personal stuff about Matt Barnes. So I can see that too.
I mean, super personal. And I didn't think Matt Barnes took it to a crazy level. I mean, he did snicker, of course. I mean, I don't know, man. This, bro,
I didn't like what they did. But did you see Gilbert like immediately was like, let me tell you what I meant to say was this. I never meant no disrespect. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is too, man, like, we have to be men too. Like, bro, if I'm out of line and I do something wrong,
and that's the thing about it.
Yeah,
like, man,
you call me out.
Part of being a man is.
Yep, you know what? I said that, and I apologize. That's what I hate so much about the Stephen A. Smith thing, man. And I don't know, man. I hate the Stephen A. Smiths. I hate Skip Bayless's. Man, it's one thing to criticize a person's performance. It's another thing to criticize a person's character.
Yeah, that's why Westbrook got so mad too, though.
And bro, you know, if we ever talk basketball, I'll tell you, Russell Westbrook is not going to be a player that I pick. You know what I'm saying? I don't like his brand of basketball. I'm never going to say he's terrible. I'm never going to say he's not a fighter. I'm never going to say he doesn't have heart. You know what I'm saying? Because those are personal attacks. What I could tell you is I would wish he could shoot better. I wish that, you know what I'm saying, he would focus more on efficiency than value when it comes to shooting. But I'm not going to tell you he's not a champion or he's not a winner. Like what Stephen A. said, he's not a champion. He's like, bro, I'm from the streets. I done made it to the league. Like, I don't won everything I need to win. Bro, where's he wrong?
I don't know, man. But at the same time, I mean, I don't know. I just think that there comes a point where you just let it ride. Let it ride.
And
I mean,
so my thing
have the conversation instead of going back and forth on. I guess what I'm trying to say is instead of going back and forth on social media, let's take it back to being men. As men, we would reach out to the person and be like, "Hey, man, let's chop this up real quick." You know what I mean?
bro.
Versus it going back and forth in the public eye the way it has been. That's all I'm trying to say,
bro. But you, as if we were taught as men, like we supposed to be, like as a man, do you count another man's wallet? Do you talk about another man's? You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of things that we do, like, you know what I'm saying? You're talking about like LeBron going to Miami when he did, and everybody's mad about it. Or KD going to Oklahoma City. Man, we don't talk about other person's business. That's their business. We leave that be. That's not for me to judge on. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of man things that we haven't been doing that we're supposed to do, and a lot of the stuff that they do in the media right now is things that we're not supposed to do. A lot of things that they're doing in the media right now are not taught in journalism school. So it's a lot of things that they're doing that's out of pocket. And then you're like, well, it's true, man. If y'all continue to do this stuff like this, you might have to be scared when you see somebody.
Yeah, and that I think that all started with. I mean, like, I guess
Skip Bayless and Stephen A. Smith
like
started that.
I go back even further than that. You remember Jim Rome?
Jim Rome. That's what I'm about to say. Jim Rome.
Yeah, like that kind of sport talk was like, okay, you saying a little too much.
That's too much. That's
You're going a little too far. It's one thing to say, oh, he had a bad game last night, or man, he was shooting 0 for 16. He couldn't hit the broadside of a barn. I mean, that's one thing. But to be like, this man, he's never gonna be anything in life. He's trash.
He's trash. He's trash. What did Jalen Rose was like? Skip Bayless is calling a grown man by Spice. He said Spice and Spice are women. And it's the same thing. Like when I hear these people being like wide receivers are divas. Like, bro, that's a woman. Don't do me like that. If I was a wide receiver and somebody called me a diva, they would see me every time. Like, bro, don't call me that. You can say you can say I'm arrogant. You can say I'm, you know what I'm saying, I'm temperamental. You know what I'm saying? But don't call me no diva. That's disrespect that's meant purposely. And I'd have a problem with it.
Yeah. All right, man. So again, I'm just hoping they get back to just
you never want to see nobody get hurt
out.
Or nothing like that, man. And you
I mean, because I think Matt Barnes was like, "Come on here to the show and let's fight." I'm like, "Oh, okay." I mean, if you're gonna fight, just fight and don't show it on the show, though. I don't know, man.
I'm glad that Matt Barnes was like, "Bro, we can fight it out if that's what we need to do." But I'm gonna tell you what, man.
Kobe Brown has probably got
7-2.
Unless Matt Barnes knows some MMA stuff, man, I'm putting my token to Kwame on that one.
I'm telling you.
But so man, hey, all right, man. So that's our sports chop, man. We got to get off of there real quick. There's so much going on in the sports world, though, man. Oh my goodness. Let's switch it up to some politics and news, man. And we can get into a lot on this too because there's been so much going on, man. Just recently, man, we were celebrating the 100-year anniversary of the Greenwood Massacre here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. We were going back and forth via text about some of the documentaries that came out and they showed on TV over the past weekend. Joe Biden did make a trip down and visit Greenwood, had a speech on it. So, man, what do you think about the progress in getting the information out? And I gotta tell you, man, after watching the documentaries, man, my eyes have been opened.
Yeah, I think.
I mean, not to say because we already knew about what had happened, but I think the in-depth reporting in these documentaries, the personal stories, you know what I'm saying, like, and then just kind of taking a step back and seeing, dang, that was a lot of generational wealth that was just stripped. Yeah. And when they went over like how the insurance companies were not paying out claims and how, you know what I'm saying, the government was blocking, you know what I'm saying, people actually getting their homes rebuilt. I mean, bro, your thoughts, man, on the whole thing, man.
Man, I think the first thing that was probably like amazing to me, or what I thought was, I think my wife was like, hey, LeBron's thing is on CNN. I was like, all right, cool. So I turned to CNN and I'm looking through the thing and I see there's another one on PBS. And then somebody texted and was like, oh, there's a great one on CBS. And this is all at the same time. Yeah. Okay, so with you. Yeah. So I was like, oh my God. So I ended up recording all three of them. And I felt like everyone was done by like a different perspective. They kind of told the same story, but they told different bits and pieces of it. So it's like everyone I watched, I was just like, bro, this is crazy, or this is like, and then I know I'm running on, man, but and I posted about it on Facebook. I said, man, I feel like I have educated myself or been educated enough to feel very comfortable a lot of Black history. You know what I'm saying? And so I feel really comfortable with a lot of Black history. But man, I seen some stuff that I was like, I didn't know about that. It was Elaine, Arkansas. They told a story about that.
Oh,
And I had never heard about that. Then when I heard, I remember about the riot in Chicago, and I knew it was about because it was a Black dude that swam over to the white side of the stuff, but I didn't know they stoned him. I was like, stoned, like stoned. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
man, some of that history that some of the stuff that you've seen about and just seen like all of these massacres and stuff that happened in Rosewood and the stuff that happened in New Orleans, you know what I'm saying? I was like, bro, this is crazy. Memphis, they had a race riot in Memphis. Like, how do I not know this? So
yeah. And what's crazy is, man, because pretty much when you look at the history books, I mean, of course, they're not gonna say too much about any of this stuff.
yeah,
But when you really look at history, though, from what I understand, and I'm not a historian, so please, whatever the case is, but from what I understand, man, after uh, so after slavery ended and after the Reconstruction period, and after the 3/5 blah, 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 you know what I'm trying to say?
the blood, the 3/5 of a person.
No. I mean, well, the 3/5 compromise. That's what I'm thinking about. 3/5 compromise. And then we were given some rights as basic human beings. Black folk, even though we didn't have a pot to piss in or anything like that, we made stuff for ourselves. And then after understanding and seeing how the system worked, we conquered how the system was supposed to work. So we made Black Wall Street. And Black Wall Street just was one of the major hubs of it. But in every major city in the South where Black folks were, we made something of that population. It's like, for instance, if you go to even right now, the east side of Tulsa, you'll see how many Mexican businesses, Latino businesses, Cuban businesses popping up. Well, just think about it. That we were congregated in one area and we made that our area.
Yeah.
And so in every one of these cities where they saw that Black folks were doing well for themselves and it expanding, man, that white anger got so crazy and they would just riot and literally just burn the whole thing down.
Yeah.
And so this was not just Tulsa, it was everywhere in the United States and in the South in particular. And so
I'm not even gonna say in the South. I'm not gonna say in the South in particular. I'm gonna say all over the United States, because the thing is, like, it seems like, yeah, like we keep on wanting to say that, but when you look at the it's called the Red Summer of 1919. They was lynching us all across the country, man. Like, they was lynching us for everything. Y'all think y'all want to? There was the thing was in Tennessee where the sharecroppers started. They was like they wanted the same price for their crops as the white people were, and so they said they started a union so they could try to do that, and the white people took it as disrespect, and they said they were just on site shooting Black people, children, women, men. They said the government had to go and stop this from happening. So imagine being a Black person in this place, and people are everybody is shooting y'all on site, and there's nothing you can do. Or you're in Greenwood and you make this amazing community, and the people are jealous of it, and then they just come and burn it down. Like, a lot of the stuff I seen where they were just coming in houses, breaking dishes, robbing safes. Like, dude, they know what they were doing. That wasn't just like, nah, we're gonna burn everything down. They went and took stuff from people, man. I seen one of the dudes they talked to. He said he had 17 rent houses in Greenwood. Said he was making $420 a month in Greenwood in 1917, 1919, 1920. Bro,
which would be the equivalent
of like $12,000 a month.
Yeah.
He was making on rent houses back then. So then the thing is too, imagine him making that on rent houses from 1921 to 2021.
Yeah. I love the one. I can't remember if it was the one on CBS or the one on PBS, but they talked about the hotel.
Yes.
The hotel was worth, and this is what I mean by when they went into detail. And I'm not talking about just all the other stuff. I'm just talking about sticking with Greenwood. There was a hotel in Greenwood that was estimated worth $105,000 at the time.
Yeah.
Imagine
in
1920. That's $1 million. That's Hilton before Hilton. You know what I mean? Like, bro, that's the stuff that was taken from Black folk, and nothing was given in return. It was just like a burn down. And
so then I got something else.
Sorry for you.
So the crazy thing
have a good life. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Try again.
I was reading a book. I was reading the biography of Stepin Fetchit probably 10 years ago. And it just, I was working at a bookstore and I seen Stepin Fetchit. I was like, why would we even have it? Because it's a black bookstore. I was like, why would we even have a biography about Stepin Fetchit? You know what I'm saying? But I was like, well, I'm intrigued. So I read it and we talked about him doing like vaudeville performances. Like they used to do that. They would travel city to city and do like these performances and stuff. And his book, he wrote about being in Tulsa in 1918. And he said Tulsa was the best place in the country he could think to be for black people. He said it was better than everything in LA. It was better than Harlem. It was better than everything he's seen. He said Black Wall Street was the most amazing thing I've seen in my life. And he wrote that in his book, in his memoir. You know what I'm saying? So the thing is, man, it was crazy that they had built something that was so, man. Did you see the yearbook, the 1921 yearbook for Booker T?
Yeah.
Bro, did you see all the ads? Like all the businesses? So the thing is, man, I think there was 40 blocks. They said it was 40 blocks, 600 businesses. And then they did everything like they did. Then they said they rebuilt. So they said Greenwood actually was actually Greenwood again, like in the 50s and the 60s. And then they said after that, that's when they started buying up all the land for the government, what's it called? Indominant domain or whatever they do, where they just be like, eminent domain, where we're like, hey, we're going to take your land and here's the money for it. So they said they started doing that in Greenwood. And then they put the highway through it after we rebuilt it the second time. So that's where it gets to the point where it'd be like, the government, the Tulsa's government, the state government, they have to do more than just be like, we apologize. It has to be a serious conversation about reparations for real.
Yeah, and I said this. I posted this too. Like, man, after reviewing everything that happened, and the mayor right now, GT Bynum, is still saying, I don't agree with reparations, giving money to people right now. Where would this money come from? I'm like, man, we got money for war. We got money for everything out there in the books. When it comes to any other, and I always get pissed with this discussion too, man, sometimes, because I'm like, with any other race of people on the face of this earth, there's always been reparations for them being
Asian
wrong.
Americans,
there's always been reparations.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be a steady check from the government, but there's always been something given to people. When it comes to black folk, though, man, we did something. Get over it. It's okay. We're not dead right now. It's not the same thing. Nah, man. There needs to be reparations, man. I just feel like, bro, black folks need at least give them land. At least give us the land.
Bro, it's
y'all stole. I mean, something. This is ridiculous, man. We shouldn't have to be asking for this. Y'all should feel bad enough to be like, okay, you know what? Yes.
So
what we did was terrible.
The biggest thing is like the labeling in the riot, so they don't get the insurance policies. That was on purpose. Mm-hmm. And then the other thing that I heard consistently was like they stopped selling wood to black people. So these black people would have to go to Kansas to get wood to rebuild. Like, think about that. How many people you think could really go to Kansas to get wood?
Yeah.
Bro, it's such a disappointing, because it was so intentional. And that's the thing that bothers me about it. Like, it was so intentional that you can't keep on telling me like, well, I don't know what we do, or we just, man, reparations shouldn't be just for the descendants. Man, think about how many people have lost the opportunities, how many families are separated, how many people might have. Oh, did you hear the older lady, the oh man, I forgot her name, but she said she sleeps in the light because she's scared of the dark. She's been scared of the dark since then. Imagine being 107 and being scared of the dark for 100 years. Think about that.
You know what's crazy is when people hear about, you know what I'm saying, 1921, great Greenwood, so forth and so on, they're like, that was so long ago. Man, my uncle actually just was talking about how my auntie before she passed on was taking care of her auntie who was in the in the riot. She said that, and she actually remember her talking about it, like, you know what I'm saying, because they stayed out north, which is now Turley, of course. Yeah, they said that once they heard the bangs, they heard everything that was going on, they packed up and went further north while it was happening. And when they came back, there was nothing left. I guess the man lost his job. There was no job to go back to. So they ended up just packing up and going even further north. And I was like, yeah, I mean, when you do stuff like that, a whole community, families, thousands upon thousands of families are affected. It's not just, oh, well, it's only 300 people died. That's all that happens. Nah, man, y'all uprooted so much and so much got taken away, and it just carried on down the line. It's crazy. It's crazy. Can you imagine, somebody getting up right now and saying, well, the Native Americans don't need anything right now. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? We should take away this idea of them not being taxed. We should take away this idea of them having their own lands. Imagine somebody getting up and saying that. I mean, that they're saying the same thing to us right now. I just don't understand how people are not more up in arms about it, man. It's just so crazy to me.
I got one even better for you. Imagine this thing, like the George Floyd thing happened, right? Imagine the George Floyd thing happened and white people start burning down houses. So imagine us going to work one day and us just being like, man, let me go home and get my family, get my car and drive. Imagine you just leaving everything in your house, your whole home, everything you've accumulated your whole life, maybe even before time. Imagine you just getting up and there being a burning cross in your yard, or somebody being like, you gotta get out here today, or we're gonna lynch your family. So imagine how many Black people have just left houses, their own house, their own land, all their possessions, maybe bank accounts. Like, bro, imagine that.
And then some of those who did leave and come back to a house that was burned down to Crystal, and then going to your insurance company and being like, hey, or looted. Oh, and then on top of that, I mean, how many arrests happened?
Man, they said it was 80 arrests and they said 50 of them were Black people. They deputized white citizens
to go and do this.
Bro, like, it's
drop bombs too. Evil. On top of that,
the level of evil was like, bro, it's hard to.
So if there's still people who are living right now, 100 years old, just think about this. There are people who the people who performed those acts have sons and daughters who are now like 50.
Yeah, those are
60.
Those are the people who want to prosecute people for doing the insurrection.
Do you feel like that's those them. People
they're Republicans
have carried on some of the same ideas or ideologies their parents did?
Yeah,
of course they have. Of course they have. I mean, they may have slightly changed a little bit with the time, but they still have that same ideology core in their system. I mean, there's certain things they can't do now that they could do back then. Back then, if we went to the police and said, hey, man, somebody burned down my house, they'd have to investigate. Now, they could actually put it on the back burner, but back then, you couldn't even say, hey, somebody burned my house, go do something about it. Please, they look at you crazy. Get out of here.
Uppity. Yeah, well, who cares?
Yeah.
You tell me that Stitt ain't from a whole line of racist people?
It wouldn't surprise me one bit. Not a one bit, man. Yeah. All right, man. So we talk about Greenwood, man. We can be on that for it.
But what I will say, and definitely we got the events, all the events they did this weekend, all the concerts, all the workshops, the festival. That was an amazing job. Everybody who took part in that, man, I definitely want to say thank you. The feeling, just like the love shown to people this week, was an amazing thing, man. So yeah, I thought that was amazing.
Oh, and speaking of, man, can we actually just take a second here to give a shout out to all the folks who are behind some of that? Mm-hmm. So all the activists, all the you know what I'm saying? Man, the people who are working the front lines, you know what I mean? Because like there's people like us, or like myself included, who man, we can't be off to go to some of these events or take, you know what I'm saying, the necessary time to organize and do all this stuff. And so the people who are out there working the front lines, organizing, I got to give props to y'all right now, man. Like,
Man.
I'm gonna give you flowers right now because, man, I just, and that's what I love seeing. That's what I love seeing, man. Is and that's the Tulsa that I like. You know what I'm saying?
Dr. Tiffany Crutcher.
Tiffany Crutcher, yeah.
Mario Solomon.
Man, he was actually on one of the. He may have been on multiple documentaries.
He was on. I definitely seen him. I was like, I told my wife, "Oh, you remember the Mario?" Though? She's like, "Yes, see, I know that's your friend. I know you met his wife, and y'all were cool. That y'all been cool since." I was like, "All right, just letting you know that's my dude on TV tonight, baby." Also want to say what's up to. I wanted to say shout out to Steph Simon too, man, because Steph Simon is like he's like leading like the Tulsa charge for like young rappers right now, man. And that little. Did you see they have an album called Little Africa on Fire that they released on actually like Motown, and it came out last week. And they done did a few videos.
I saw the cover for it, but I haven't actually gone in and taken a poke.
So Steph used to work with us, man, and he's like he has kids with one of my little cousins. So like I know him like really well. You know what I'm saying? So but he did a lot. Like I want to say they did they have a thing called the World Culture festival that they usually do in the summer. And so like for that thing that they did this week, he like picked like most of the artists to perform and everything they did a lot. Felix Jones has a lot to do with that too. So everybody who did and Angelo Estes like mastered the whole CD, you know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of Tulsa people on there, man. So it's good to see all of those people doing all those different things.
Yeah, it is great, man. That's okay. So like again, you know, to take that away, man, I love being black, man. Just seeing us do things that just are amazing, man. It's great. It's great. It's great seeing that. All right, man. So that's the Greenwood Talk. In other political news, or in other news, I should say, just this last Friday, the Republicans literally did shoot down the request to inquire. They blocked it. The inquiry about the January 6th insurrection. Mitch McConnell. I was gonna say Mitt Romney, but Romney actually did vote for doing it. But Mitch McConnell came out and Mr. Blackfinger himself, came out and basically said he pushed his Senate to not vote for it, so forth and so on. He came out and said, "We're not going to find anything about what happened. So why do we even need to do it again right now? I feel like there's other things we need to talk about."
That's crazy to me, man. It's really like shocking and crazy.
It's absolutely insane. If anything should get bipartisan support for democracy itself, should be democracy itself. If an insurrection pops up, I mean, come on, man. You shouldn't get any more togetherness than that. But I always say, man, there's only a couple of things that can bring the right and the left together.
Man, and you know the crazy thing, man, it's just, and I know we've beaten this horse as much as you can beat it, man. But if those would have been black people, if those would have been Hispanic people, if those would have been Native Americans, man, we would see this in a whole different light, man. And I just hate that everybody is so cool with just being like, I think it's something that we should be talking about every day until something happened about it. Black people, white people, you know what I'm saying? Man, LGBT, you know what I'm saying? Everybody should be talking about this until because the thing is like, bro, I was watching the show the other day and they said, what if this was Al Qaeda and they stormed the Capitol like these people did? If they got to where they got, they would have seen this as a victory, man. So for us to let it stand and let's not prosecute and let's not go and be like, no, you can't do this to our country. For this to be so cool and everybody be so like cavalier about how they acting about this says a lot, man.
It says a bunch actually, because and I'm going to answer your question for you, Z. If this was Muhammad al-Akbar and his 5,000 companions running up on the Capitol, number one, they'd be dead right now.
They wouldn't even made it there.
That same day.
They wouldn't even made it
that far. But let's just say they did somehow, some way, the same thing happened, and they were able to get into the Capitol. They were able to You know what I'm
on the
saying?
House
Poop on the floor in the Capitol.
Yeah.
They were able to
Get
you
into
know what I'm saying, get to the
offices.
Senate floor behind the Senate chambers and
Yeah.
just like rummage through all kind of documents that were on the senators, the same senators who voted to block it. They were actually at their tables rummaging through their documents, through
Yeah.
classified information, so forth and so on. If that had happened, I guarantee you there would have been a bipartisan committee. There would have been enough money put in this thing to go to war.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like there would have been all kind of stuff opened up. But
Yeah.
because it was, let's just say it, right wing, nutcase, whatever the case is,
Yeah.
they trying to actually, they still want their votes, so they don't want to upset.
And it's such a large chunk. I don't think they think they can compete with Democrats if they alienate these people.
If they lose that,
yeah. If they lose this,
they don't want to lose that block.
Yeah, and so that's why they're being like, well, it ain't really that bad. Like, okay.
Yeah, it's absolutely insane, man. Absolutely insane. So I just think that's crazy, man. Biden actually did say something at what he spoke at Greenwood.
Yeah.
About trying to get stuff done. And that's another thing about the I cannot remember one time besides Obamacare and Trump's tax cuts when Congress has come together and actually done something for the American people, not just for businesses or, you know what I'm saying, a special few, you know what I'm saying, select folk. But other than like, you know what I'm saying, the stimmies and Obamacare, because the tax cuts really didn't, I mean, that didn't really do too much. I don't care what anybody said. That didn't do too much for people just working regular jobs.
I might have seen the extra $20, bro. That didn't help me at all. But you know what I do? What I do want to talk about though, man, like that. I still like it should be pressure on Biden, man. There should be an anti-lynching bill. There's no way that we should have our history that we have in this country and it not be a federal law for lynching to be a crime, especially with the stuff that happened with the Asian.
Well, that's what I was going.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, but that's what I was leaning towards, though. It was that, you know, when Biden was talking about not being able to get stuff done, because in his speech, he said, I know people are on me right now, you know, saying that, hey, there should be more things done right now. He said the only reason why there's still nothing being done is because nothing can pass the Senate. And I think people need to understand is that, man, the House can come up with all kind of bills that they want.
And they are.
There's already a bill, the voting rights bill.
Mm-hmm.
There's already the George Floyd bill. There's already police, you know what I'm saying, policing something bill. There are multiple bills that have already passed through the House. The only problem is it can't make it through the Senate because you have a 50-50 split. And then there's a filibuster still in the place because you need 10. Unfortunately, you need 60 votes in the Senate. There's a 50-50 split, 50 Democrats, 50 Republicans. So they need 10 Republicans. Well, the Republicans are never coming over to the other side. And on top of that, if the Democrats try to ram something through, they need all 50 votes. And there's 2 senators who don't want to do it that way. And that's Kristen Sinema and Joe Manchin from West Virginia.
Yep.
And
the West Virginia is terrible.
That's why if you ever hear the name Joe Manchin, he's holding up a lot of what, you know what I'm saying, they want to do. Because he's like, I don't want to do things all, you know what I'm saying, straight on the line. So this politics is crazy, man. And when you think about it, it comes down to one senator in one state that has probably the population of one city of Los Angeles. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, that's so crazy to me. Like, bro, I don't know.
It's definitely.
Anyway.
Yeah,
man, it's crazy how this thing works. In other news, man, there was 3 officers charged in Tacoma, Washington. They killed another unarmed black man. This actually happened a year ago, but they were formally charged.
Okay.
And so I kind of wanted to bring up the question to you, man. Do you think that we're on track for making good change, seeing that there's another charge that's happened?
Nah, man, I don't. I think a lot of we've seen. I mean, Betty Shelby got charged, right?
Yeah. No, she got I think there was a formal investigation, but they didn't bring up any charges.
I thought she had a charge. I thought she
got I understand. I thought they didn't bring up any charges at all.
I could be wrong, man. But like the thing is, like we've seen other officers get put on charges. The people from LA, the LAPD who beat up Rodney King, they got charged. We need to start seeing more
yeah,
convictions.
yeah.
That's where my thing is. Once we start seeing more convictions, then I'll feel like we're doing something better. And when I start seeing police policy changes, I'll feel like we're on the right path. Right now, I think we're moving in a good direction, but we have a lot of work to do.
Yeah, I hear you on that, man. I hear you on that. I mean, just the fact that we got to keep saying, "Hey, there was another unarmed black man killed." Period.
Yeah.
Like, come on,
bro. The crazy thing to me is like, and I know I've said this before, man, but it's just like for you to be so oblivious to the situation, man, when you know this is such a hot topic. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, this is it's like, man, it's hard to describe because like everything you see on TV is about black people being upset about police officers killing black men, police officers being too police
aggressive.
brutality, too aggressive, and for you to go out there and do that in this time in this climate, it kind of shows. Or just like the thing is like, you know, for you to get on Facebook right now and be racist as a business owner, like you see what they're doing to businesses, you see how they canceling people, and for you to do that right now in this climate, it says
really
a lot. Yeah, it's like, bro,
it says a huge amount.
Yeah.
But hey, I'd rather you be blatant and upfront with it than behind my back with it. So that's one thing I actually am cool. I'm glad that's all right, man. So that's pretty much all we have for the politics and the news, man. Let's make it on to some entertainment, man, some music and so forth and so on. I know you saw the verses. My bad, bro. Been busy. Haven't been able to go back and check it out, man. But
yeah, I know you've been working a lot, man.
man,
you know what?
Was it?
Initially, man, it was good. It was good, man, because you know what I'm saying, they're super cool and they both got a lot of good music. But at the end, it started getting weird. And me and Alika was like, I don't know what's going on here, but it's kind of weird. They didn't do the break like they usually do the break. Timberland's wardrobe was Timberland's wardrobe. Something weird there. So, man, it was kind of like, you know what I'm saying? It was still good. It wasn't good as the Escape. It wasn't. I think the Escape one and SWV was great. I think the Redman and Method Man was great. I think the Ozzy Brothers. So I think you thought all these new ones kind of lived up, and you were hoping that they would live up to that. And I don't think they all the way did.
It's crazy because it should have been great.
And it started off great too, though. It started off great too, man. But it felt like Timberland was like a little drunker than what he was supposed to be. And I understand we get drunker than what we're supposed to be, but like, I don't know, man. It was just kind of weird. It was I don't know. It was something crazy about it.
I mean, I still kind of want to go back through and at least catch some of the highlights on it, man.
Oh yeah, no, it's worth it though. It's definitely worth it.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go check it out, man. So, man, to keep it on with music though, real quick, bro. So, man, this past week, man, so I've been working like crazy, of course. And sometimes, you know, in my job, I can actually just put my earbud in and just go to work. That's one of the good points I should say about the job. I can listen to music almost all day long.
Yeah.
And so, man, this week, man, I've been on this kick of just popping in some oldies, but also going back into some of the 90s. And I've been really looking at live performances from groups or from bands or from R&B from the 90s or R&B from the 60s, 70s, 80s. I watched some of the Dales live stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know, your daddy liked the Dales.
Yeah. Daddy loved it.
Bro. Yeah. And so, man, I've just been going back and forth on it, man. And it made me think about something, man, because like, you know, I push on the radio and I'm like, oh, okay. Some of the stuff I can get into, some of it I can't. But the one thing I will say is I hate saying the talent level was a lot better back in the day. I feel that way. I feel like the talent level was better back in the day. But the other thing too is the actual vocals.
Yeah.
Like, man, I'm bro, I was blown away by watching some live performances of some vocals. So my question to you, man, is I wanted to kind of break down like R&B female, male vocalists. Can you get some rankings going?
Or just, bro, if we
just whatever you, man.
If we were going off of voice quality alone, man, I want to tell you that Whitney Houston, when we talk about women, man, we probably could talk about artists, period. Whitney Houston's voice.
Well, I like to break them up though, man. I like to break them up into female and male.
Yeah. So I have Whitney Houston. I'm gonna probably always be the same though. Whitney Houston, Patti LaBelle. I wasn't a big fan of her, but if we're talking about straight vocals, I'm gonna say Aretha Franklin. Etta James. You know what I'm saying? What's your girl name? Jennifer Hudson, Kelly Price. You know what I'm saying? Shirley Murdoch.
Yeah, like, but see, to me, there's a difference between the females, and including the males too. Because I mean, some females have the powerful voices. Like to me, that's like a Jennifer Hudson. They've got this powerful, just you know what I'm saying, churchy voice. Aretha, powerful, churchy voice. But then you got the ones who are like I don't think Whitney
Houston
type.
I don't think Whitney Houston was a church type voice.
Yeah, Whitney Houston wasn't to me though. She but her like for instance, I'll say this much: like Whitney Houston can sing, all right, but when it comes to vocal range, I mean, she didn't have the vocal range that some of these other ones have.
You don't
and
think
it's
she
like,
did? She had a super strong falsetto, and she could go from like low to high, like super.
No, when I say range, I mean like, okay, so you remember God, what's her name, man? Even Mariah Carey, when she would do that little
but that's just going high
up there pitch. I mean, was just like
you talking about like
that's what I mean about range.
Okay,
man.
yeah.
Like,
I don't count Mariah Carey being able to do that. Don't mean she could sing to me. It's kind of like Denise Williams be able to hit them crazy notes at the top. You know, loving you is easy, like that. You know what I'm saying? Like the. Do you think?
Yeah.
Do you think Mariah Carey could sing better than Whitney Houston?
Me personally, no. Yeah. But some people actually will argue for it. No, yeah, cool, some people would argue for it. Man, there is there's a lady. I'm trying to remember what her name was. Bro, who I was like, yeah, I think she can sing better than anybody. I would put her up against anybody. The lady who sang that one song, she was a backup singer for somebody for a while. She sang that song, How Do I Ease the Pain?
Lisa Fisher.
Oh my gosh. Who did she back up? She backed up
Luther Vandross. She said she made more money. She made more money singing on the road with Luther Vandross than she could do making her own
with Luther
music.
Bro, when I say I saw a live performance of her doing that song, and she hit notes that she didn't do even on the recorded part of it. And I was like,
but you think she better than Whitney Houston?
Yeah, I would put her up against Whitney. I would.
Not at all. Not at all.
I'm gonna see that live video.
There's a dude.
So
I've seen it. I've already seen it. Gerald, we've talked about it before. I've seen it. I know exactly what you're talking about. There's a dude named Phil Perry.
You don't think she can sing better than Whitney?
No. There's a dude named Phil Perry has a song called Call Me. It's one of my favorite songs ever. And his range is stupid. You know what I'm saying? Like stupid. But I'm not gonna pick him over Donny Hathaway. Pick him over Sam Cooke. The ability for you to sing a high note or you to hit a, you know what I'm saying, a crazy high note, that don't mean a lot to me, man. I'm gonna pick Anita Baker, You Bring Me Joy. You know, the breakdown when they go into the thing and like, you bring me joy. And then she do that note right there. Do, do, do. You be like, ooh. To me, that's better than Mariah Carey singing that weird high thing that she's not gonna be able to sing when she's 60. Because she's not gonna be able to sing that.
She lost it already. What are you talking about to 60?
Can't sing Whitney Houston singing I Will Always Love You or I Will Run to You. Like I remember her singing that, and I'll be like, bro, man, I feel like I'm a melt somewhere. Like, bro, do you feel that? Like, man, is that me? Like, I don't know, man. The high notes, man, like unless you could do like Trey Lorenz was super on the high notes, but he could sing. You know what I'm saying? And then he was a man hitting them high notes that was crazy too. Or but Emile LaRue. It's not just Emile LaRue hit those high notes, but she can sing though to me. So I think.
But I guess that's what I'm trying to say though, man. It's not just that they can hit a high note. It's how they carry the range and the tone and manipulate their voices in a certain way. It's like, bro, I'll give you an example. Like the dude from Silk. Lil G. Yeah, he can do it.
But do you think
he
they'll be able
knows
to
how
do
to
that?
actually.
But do you think they'll be able to do that when they're 60? Because they're not. That's not a natural way to sing. And
Bro,
I think that's
mean,
the difference.
they were just on.
But
They
I think
were
that's
just on. But everybody's gonna lose a little bit, man. I mean, like,
bro.
shoot,
You
even
think Patti
Whitney
LaBelle has lost
in her.
anything?
But that's because they. I think Patty literally like keep singing every day.
But I mean, like
Some of these cats.
the last time I heard
don't.
Anita Baker sing, she sung just like whatever. Marsha Ambrosius. Every time I see her, she's the same. Like, so the thing is, like, I think sometimes we get caught up with somebody being able to do something they're not supposed to do. Johnny Gill is not supposed to do that. He's not supposed to do that. Wanye's not supposed to do that. That's why they sound terrible right now, or they sound like they've been chewing rocks for years because their voice is not supposed to do that. But on the same reverse end, what's your boy name? The skinny dude from Boys to Men that sing the falsetto, Sean Stockman. The reason that he still sounds good today is because he sings inside what he's supposed to sing for his voice. And I think that's the conversation.
No, honestly, you know what I think it is, man? I honestly feel like it's practice. I feel like singing is the same as playing ball. Singing is the same. Well, it's not the same, of course, but dude, I think that if you don't practice your abilities, we should have asked Tony when we had on her. But if you don't keep up in practice, man, yeah, you're not gonna sound the same. You're not gonna sound the same. It's like singers when they get up and you know what I'm saying, they got to do their herbal teas and all that stuff to make sure the vocals is clear and they do their range sessions and all that stuff, man. Yeah, if you practice that stuff, you get better. If you don't practice it and you just sit up there and do nothing all day, I mean, don't do anything with it, then yeah, I think you'll end up losing it. You know what I'm saying? Like Mariah Carey, like, look, for real.
I don't think she lost it because she's not well, and you could be right about the practice part, but I think there's a part of what you're doing, how natural and how much you're singing inside of what you're supposed to do. Like, I think Brian McKnight, I think Brian McKnight is going to sound amazing all the time because he sings how like he's supposed to. I think Cisco sings the way Cisco, it's not like a extra, like I feel like Cisco sings like naturally, like this is what I'm singing, blah, 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 but it's not like that thing that Johnny Gill and Wanye do that's different than what Cisco and KC did. You know what I'm saying? And so, like,
really? Because I feel like KC did more of that than anybody else.
No, I think Johnny Gill did more than KC might have did more, but Cisco don't do it at all. Or like the dude from Stokely from Mint Condition. Like, bro, he has his voice. He just sing his voice, man. He's not doing nothing extra. Now his voice is higher than most men voices, or but I think that's one of the reason that you see some of these acts and they don't sound good because they're not doing things that were natural. Here's my thought.
I mean, that could definitely be it. No,
I think you can practice all day. Like, you could practice singing all day. We could practice our notes or whatever we're supposed to do. But some of the stuff that people do is not natural. And I think those are the things that you might be able to do at 16 and 23 that you're not going to be able to do at 40. You know what I'm saying? Just like I could dunk.
Oh no, but I think a lot of them. I think a lot of them do sound different.
40. Yeah. Yeah, your ability, like you get older, you can't do some of the things you did when you were younger. And I think them unnatural notes are one of the I ain't gonna say unnatural, but like them crazy high notes and stuff. I don't think I've seen nobody be able to do that in their 50s.
Hey, just because it's unnatural, Z.
Yeah. Well, maybe Layla Hathaway might be able to do it because she's crazy, but
yeah, man, it could be, man. All right, man. So dog, any new shows, any TV shows / movies you looking forward to coming out soon, or you seen any trailers or anything out right now? You like, oh man, I gotta check that out, man.
Man, Fast and Furious 19.
I thought this was number 25.
Oh, is it 25?
Yeah, I'm just playing, dog.
Me too. I'm not looking. I was like,
I think this is actually what's number 8.
9. I was like F9, bro.
Yeah, Fast and Furious 9.
Y'all left me at F2. Like, no bet, buddy. I'm out.
Bro, they started off with just racing. They were just racing. The first movie it was like about a race car sending whatever the heck. I'm like, oh, okay.
Like, bro, it's so like I was like, I don't even have time in my life to attempt to watch nothing like that. I think the biggest thing that I'm waiting on Loki. I was actually talking to one of my agents today, and she was like, I'm just waiting on Loki, and I was like, me too, but it ain't coming out to June. And she was like, Z, today is June the 2nd. I was like, oh, it is. Loki's coming out next week, baby. You know,
is it next week?
Okay, I think it's 6/7 is when it's supposed to come out, or 6.
Oh, okay.
6.
Well, yeah, I definitely got to check that out, man.
Yeah, so I'm waiting for Loki to come out. I think that's the only thing I'm waiting on. Me and my bro, we're like season 2, episode 8 of Snowfall.
Oh, word.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what you think so far, man?
I don't see how it's gonna be better than The Wire. Definitely don't see how it's gonna be better than Power. So,
you still okay? All right. Okay, so what do you think? Have you finished The Wire yet?
Yeah, we finished The Wire.
Finished season 5 too?
Mm-hmm. Finished 5, like everything in The Wire. So,
oh snap,
man. So the thing about The Wire to me, man, is like I think at the end when everything kind of wrapped up, and then you seen Daquan using, and you seen little Mike robbing people like Omar.
Turn back into Omar.
Like how everything just turned into a circle, like everything was like a big circle. So I definitely see that part, man. But it was some stuff on season 4, season 5 where I was like, I didn't like Daniels and the relationship with the lawyer. That was kind of weird to me. I felt like Daniels kind of like he used his wife and he wasn't cool back with his wife like he was supposed to. You know what I'm saying? They made everything about his career for all the time, and when it's time for her to do something, then like everything fell apart. So it was a lot of stuff that I was just like, you know what I'm saying? I wish they would have did a little bit more with Bay's son. Remember when he went and started with Bunny with Coven, and then he did good at debate. I wish we would have seen more of that kind of stuff too. So, but it was good. I'm not gonna say it wasn't good at all, man. I didn't see Bodie dying. I didn't see Stringer dying the way he died. So there was a lot of stuff. I didn't see Method Man.
Which one?
Cheese. When Cheese got killed, I was like, oh,
Cheese.
Yeah.
Which one? Which death hit you the hardest, man? Was it Michael B. Jordan? I can't remember the name of the character right now. So
Michael B. Jordan I was like, oh damn, I can't, but I could see it because he started using and he was struggling with it. You know what I'm saying? So I could kind of see that. Mm-hmm. I think the one that hit me the worst was Bodie's, just because he was there for so long and he was just so, and I just didn't see it coming. I thought he was gonna make it through the whole because he was smart, you know?
Yeah. But you saw his breaking point though. Like when he was just like, this ain't right, man. Yeah. This ain't right. They killed it. Yeah. Man, why they gotta, this ain't right. This ain't what it used to be like. This is, you know what I'm saying? He was the way he had that old code.
He had that old code,
like,
and he had that old code wasn't there no more. Yeah.
Yeah. But he was like, man, this is not the way it's supposed to be.
But I understand why people love Snoop. So like I definitely get the Snoop thing, but then what made me kind of weird about that was like, well, why do we love Snoop and nobody ever talked about Chris though?
Chris was the craziest one to me,
bro. I
thought Chris was the craziest one,
bro.
The way he beat down, what's his name, Daddy,
Mike's dad, and then the way he trained Mike. So they was like,
and the way.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh no, I was just gonna say the one thing I loved about The Wire is they didn't have to explain stuff to you. They left stuff up in the air. Like, for instance, I always thought the reason Chris acted the way he acted was because he was abused as a kid, and that's the reason why he beat the dude's daddy down so much. But they never touched on it.
But
it was kind of like an inference thing.
But the way
he beat him, you was like, okay, something happened with this dude. That's the reason why he is the way he is.
And the way he questioned,
you know what I mean?
The way he questioned him about like, so what's going on? And then the way he talked to the dude, you could tell it was something different. I also thought it was something weird that they did the Black Daddy from All American, that they would show him like doing the gym, and then they kind of just like he got shot, and then we just left it be.
Oh, I think his arc was just pretty much used up. You know what I mean? Like
with just talking to
he was that old OG that you see, you know what I'm saying, who got out of jail, and they kind of wanted to show you that side of it. And then his arc was just, once the new cats came in, and he got his gym, and he, you know what I'm saying, he was trying to help the young kids out. What more do you need to see from him? You know what I mean? I think that's the reason why he gets kind of waned off of the show a little bit. But I don't know, man. I've always just been I told you, season 4 with the kids is always mine, because I just like the way it showed how you know what I'm saying, one just one mistake or one kid that you saw that you was like, okay, this kid has promise, just how quickly it could turn. Like if you when you started and you saw all those kids, did you envision them ending up the way they did at the end of the season? So like the kid who you can see as a CEO who was actually out here hustling, selling candy bars, you know what I'm saying? He ended up being probably one of the dudes who's gonna end up having the most hardest knock life besides the other one who got, strung out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he's growing up in boys' homes just because he got labeled as a snitch.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But this kid could probably he could have probably been one of the best CEOs of a Fortune 500 company, the way this dude's mind was operating.
Man, or
you know what I mean?
About,
so
like Daquan, how great he was on that computer, or how well they all took to like the rolling of the dice. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But it also showed me a little thing too, because you remember when Coben took the kids to the restaurant and they were out of their element and they were just like they just closed up, they just shut off. And I think that, you know what I'm saying, those are things that we see in society, man. Like we feel like comfortable in our environments, but when we get in other environments, like
shut down.
Yeah, like so on Snowfall, I'm on Snowfall right now. And so like Franklin is talking crazy to his mama at work in the restaurant. And I'm like, bro, but these people is punking you on the streets and you ain't talking to none of them like the way you trying to talk to your mama. So like, you know what I'm saying? You see certain things, you be like,
Hey, I'm just gonna tell you to keep watching Snowfall, man. Just wait till just keep on waiting, man.
Yeah, that's what I was just telling my wife. I was like, bro, we had like episode 7 or 8 of season 2, and I'm like, I don't know. No, we're on episode 10. We're on episode 10. So this is the last episode of season 2. And so the thing is, like, I don't know how it lasts to season 5. So I kind of just want to see like what even happens for them to get to a season 5.
Oh, trust me, just keep on going. Keep on going. Franklin's uncle is my favorite, man. This dude cracked me up.
Did you feel like Franklin kind of started a relationship with Franklin's auntie and the lady in the club? Like he asked her to sit down, and then it eventually turned into a relationship. And I was like, I think he did that.
Yeah, but keep watching. All right, I'm just gonna leave it at that. All right, cool. So yeah. Anyway, I love Snowfall, man. There's just some stuff in there that I mean, it's cold the way he showed how to crack. Like, I think right now you're just seeing from Franklin's point of view.
Yeah.
And as the series goes on, you just kind of see how the crack takes a life of its own. Yeah. And the effects of it take a life of its own. So I'm gonna leave it there and let you just check it out. So.
Well, definitely because the white agent dude, like he's over his head. Like I can tell you, like I feel like he was over his head to start off with. Mm-hmm. And now he's just like he living a life. And I'm like, bro, this is you doing all right. So we're looking and trying to figure it out. So
yeah. All right, man. So yeah, it's a good show though. It's a great show. All right, man. So yeah, I don't have anything, any other show. There is actually one. I'm kind of hoping that the theaters open back up again. I've been saying this, man. I gotta make it out to a flick sooner rather than later, brother.
I'm good.
You good on it?
I'm good on being around people, bro. I'm not. I'm cool on it.
Okay, well, I'm saying when it opens up, I'm ready to go back to a movie.
Yeah.
And there's a couple of flicks that I want to see come out that I saw. They had a whole bunch of movies that I guess they just shelved and they're waiting for, the opening to come back and whatever the case is, I don't know. Like there's a Top Gun 2 movie coming out. There's, all the Marvel stuff's going to be coming out. I mean, all that stuff, man, I'm ready for it all, brother. Just shoot. I'll take it.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm uncomfortable around people now, so I don't want to be around more.
This is going to affect you for the rest. People. This is going to affect you forever, Z. You gonna?
I don't really want to be around a big group of people, man. And it could be weird, man. But I'm starting to get a place where like we're in a place and it's a lot of people. Like I'm getting anxiety. Like there's too many people in here. I got to get up out of here. So
you know what? I think that's going to happen to a lot of folks. To be honest with you, man.
Yeah, it's a weird situation, man. And man, when you feel like, man, I totally off subject, man, but I got some new agents last week, man, and I was talking to one of my new ladies, and she said her cousin went somewhere, you know what I'm saying, just out somewhere or something, And then she went home and seen her dad. And her dad died of COVID. So this girl is living with the fact that she brought COVID to her dad and he died.
That she may have actually been the one. Yeah.
No, she was
That's
the one.
cold.
They know he got it from her.
Yeah, she's the one that gave it to him.
It's like those situations like that, man. And it's just like so much stuff. And just taking like, bro, I don't want to be around nobody who ain't safe. You know, we've had them conversations for a whole year now. So
yeah,
it's gonna take me 6 months to like 9 months for me to even get comfortable enough to be like, you sure ain't nothing out here? You know what I'm saying?
Hey, well, I'm just following the directions CDC guidelines, brother.
Bro, CDC.
I'm talking about these vaccinations. I hope this vaccine. Shoot, I don't know. We'll see.
I don't know who I should listen to medical advice from, like the CDC or CNC Music Factory. They all about the same thing right now. Whatever, you know what I'm saying? We talking about it, man. But the CDC, man, like when they did the like you got to do this, and then like a week later it was like, oh, you ain't got to wear no mask. I was like, y'all lost me there.
Yeah. I tell you what, one thing for certain, man, we got to get tested before we leave out next week. So, me and the wife gonna go get tested up on Sunday, I think, or something like that. Yeah. Because if we get test positive, we can't go nowhere.
Correct.
So, but I'm like, man, hey, I'm trying to keep away because I want to take this trip.
Yeah,
I don't want no COVID.
Don't lose no money. Yeah.
Shoot. Well, we get reimbursed if we.
Oh, y'all got the insurance on it. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. All right, man. So, dude, that's the end of the show. That's all we got for today. Anything else you wanted to bring up, brother?
No, but I did want to remind you that Floyd Mayweather fight on Sunday.
Lordy Lord.
Yeah.
Man, I might actually swing. Hey, I might have to swing by there, man, on Sunday evening to check it out, bro.
All right, cool.
So, because we may not be set up all the way yet. So, yeah, I'll hit you up for it, man. I definitely want to see Floyd do his thing against this boy. Yeah. I really do. I want to see somebody shut up one of the Paul brothers at least.
Yeah.
So anyway. All right, man. So that's our show for today. Remember to like, follow. You can find us on where?
iHeartRadio, Pandora, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts. What am I missing?
Where you get your podcast?
Yeah, anywhere you get your podcast from, we probably there, man. So yeah, the new ones is iHeartRadio though and Pandora. So
sweet. So we up and going, man. I appreciate everybody for listening. I appreciate everybody who actually follows us, who's liking it and checking out the content. We definitely appreciate it. Man, bro, another week.
I'm telling you. Man.
Yeah. All right, my dude. I'll catch up with you, man. Definitely.
All right, man. Y'all have a good trip, man.
All right.
Yeah.